Hello, my name is Mackenzie Barnes, and I'd first like to make a few statements on behalf of our speaker today. To the members of Vivi's English class, myself included, stop reading your poetry out loud. Whatever angst-filled disaster you created will be nothing compared to the masterpiece that Vivi threw together in a matter of minutes. To those of us who think the New York local all-black wardrobe, edgy short haircut vibe could work for us, it won't. Vivi has a monopoly on that look, and your attempt will be a failure. And Steven Spielberg, I now speak directly to you. You're done, old man. Your time has passed, because soon Hollywood will know only one director, one name, Vivi Gray. Now, Vivi would never say such things. She's too kind, too good, too overwhelmingly compassionate. But fortunately, I knew Vivi in a time when compassion was weakness, when only the strong survived. Middle school at Gray St. Luke's. Now, on some inconsequential day in the 6th grade, I was in the lunch line and I noticed a basket of lemon juice packets that had been set out. I said into the air, addressing no one in particular, "What is this? Who in this school is drinking lemon juice?" And then suddenly, like a phoenix from the ashes, 12-year-old Vivi was there, both hands gripping my shoulders tightly. She looked at me, a darkness in her eyes I'd never noticed before, looking less like a middle school girl and more like a hardened war veteran. She nailed me with a 1,000-yard stare and said, "Teachers, Mackenzie, teachers drink lemon juice." Then my classmate faded into the shadows, never to be seen again. If you've been listening, consider me flattered. But if not, if you chose to stare blankly at this podium until some girl moved out of the way for Vivi, well, first of all, I get it. But secondly, ready yourself, because I am about to move out of the way, and you are about to hear Vivi speak. So I believe there are some pencils in your pews, maybe even an Episcodoodle. Go ahead and grab those, because you'll want to take notes. Now, please help me in welcoming Vivian Wallace Gray.
Oh boy, okay. So, there are certain times in one's life where you are granted an opportunity to completely embarrass yourself with the utmost sincerity of the greater good of, dare I say, mankind, or in this case, maybe just myself. So with that being said, Annie Clark, I'm now speaking directly to you. For those of you who don't know, Annie Clark, St. Vincent, rock god, musician, won a Grammy, and my heart. Whoops. I'm taking advantage of this moment to say I know you're probably tired of me trying to get your attention, provided that I'm granting myself enough credibility to be recognized by you. But if you could just do one thing for me, and that'd be to just study my face for a second. And I mean, just really look and take that time. And I'm gonna count subtly to 3, just to fill the space for the other 500 people in this room. 1, 2, 3. It's good, right? I mean, like, it takes you a second, but then you're like, that could be tolerable. Just something to think about. So with that being said, you might say that's a little far-fetched, and I would say, well, I think it's important to be okay with that. You know, even when it's a little more than far-fetched. Of course, be aware of blanket statements. You might want to reevaluate sometimes, check the works, but for the most part, never be afraid to experiment and risk wisely. And tell someone you love them while we're on the subject. But to put it in short, kids, all you're granted in this moment is an animate body and the promise of death. Exhilarating. But of course, we already know that, so don't roll your eyes just yet. Today, I want to talk about something that I really have no clue about, and maybe it is safe to say no one really does, and that is how to navigate all the rest of whatever it is we're doing right now, or really, what do we make with this mess? I offer 3 memories to try and answer our question. Well, 2 memories and 1 digression, just for, spice. The first of which stems from my formative years at St. John's Preschool, and Eleanor James, hold on to your hat and your hair for that matter. So imagine, nap time, I rest my royal blue polyblend cot next to the supine blonde. And now, just for the sake of elevating the narrative and moving things along, I'm going to add some allegory. So imagine Eleanor's fine long hair is you, or just like man itself, chugging along, and then me slowly descending with scissors upon this golden mass. Is life. You've put so much time and effort into making that hair so sheen, so luscious. But life doesn't really care. It's just curious about what you would look like bald. Inevitably, it finds an answer to that question, and that is that your hair was too thick to cut with kitty scissors, but you rock a bob. If that one was a little too on the nose for you, here's another one from what would be my late midlife crisis, if you go by my current age, just cut it in half. But it's also about hair. And if you'll notice, I don't have much of it. So it's not so much an allegory as it is, look at this irony. And unfortunately, I can't figure out what to do with my hair right now, so this last memory foil is a really great opportunity for a perfect, well-rounded motif. But hopefully, a cake is equally as trivial. And this is June 29th, 2017. The cake was frosted white, and the inside some sort of banana-cinnamon merger. It tasted just like it did before, and everything sans banana runt candies looked the same. 3 monkeys, the formed chocolate garnish, tried their best to smile at me, just as they did before. And there it was, balancing between her palms, a cake made from scratch, just for me, because I had lived another year, and so had she. This is my mama, and she made me the same cake she did when I was 3. And in that moment, we recognized all of it, how much it took to arrive at that table together. And I know most of you love your mamas. We're lucky in that way, but I'm going to take some artistic liberty here and say, mine's the best. And even more than that, she gave me a few moments at the close of my technical youth to crawl through my years and see a child just as happy as she was before. And I was not unhappy pre-cake, but nothing really compares to the purity of a child's joy. It was an opportunity to remember, and we owned it all. And I would argue, kiddos, that that is all we can do, own our moment, cheesy as it sounds. And yes, sometimes that means you'll get ones that just really, really, really stink. Pardon my French. But I'm sure Fyodor Dostoevsky is a bit more credible than I, so here's a little bit from the brothers Karamazov. And even though we may be involved with the most important affairs, achieve some distinction or fall into some great misfortune, all the same, let us never forget how good we once felt here all together, perhaps better than we actually are. So believe it or not, I was wrong. Wow. There's a third guarantee, and that is that you're going to be surprised. I urge you to meet that ridiculousness with the utmost sincerity and remember the thing for what it is. So there you have it. If I've kept track accurately, our answer is if you're a preschooler, cut someone's hair off, because that's the only time it's like kind of acceptable. And then cut your own just to feel it for yourself. And if you love someone, tell them. Hopefully the worst they'll do is laugh and then say it to 500 people, because it doesn't matter. What is important is that you own all of it. We'll see how it goes. Thanks.